Mr. Steeley, Mr. Hench, and Ms. McLeod. Last year, we saw the launch of a student-teacher stipend program aimed at recruiting educators for the classroom. Back home in the district, listening to folks, I had a college student tell me that the stipend was paid directly to the school district where she was student teaching, as opposed to the institution of higher education or to her directly to go to assist with her costs. I also heard from several superintendents who were hopeful that this stipend would address shortages in high demand, hard to fill fields. The program was very popular. 53% of all applicants were successful in receiving a stipend, and those stipends were awarded on a first come, first served basis. So, moving forward to this budget, what changes, if any, do you suggest as we move into year 2 of this program?
Thank you, Senator. So the stipend program was very successful, as you pointed out. We had about 4,299 applicants. We were able to fund provisionally about half of those students. And so we do have a lot of lessons learned from year 1 launch. We onboarded 555 LEAs, or school districts, and we're actively participating with about 399 of them have placement students. To address your earlier question, we did think long and hard about where we would pay the student teachers, and we did not want to pay through the institutions of higher education for those student teachers because it would most likely disrupt their Title IV aid for financial aid consideration, and so we did pay it through the LEAs. That was a new process, as Elizabeth McLeod mentioned, around PA helps. We had to start to engage with LEAs that PHEAA does not have a strong working relationship with.
So when I go back and talk to those constituents, those students who've raised that question, what happens to that money once it goes to an LEA?
Yep, so the LEA is asked to disperse the $10,000 directly to the student through check or ACH, however the LEA determines to make that payment as quickly as possible. We had some lessons learned where working with business officers at the school districts the communication channel was going to the coordinator at the LEA, but not necessarily to the business officers. And we also, something that was lost on PHEAA was a lot of those disbursements of the $10,000 had to be board approved. So while we would disperse in maybe September, if the school board wasn't meeting until October, there was a delay in that disbursement as well. So we're taking some of those lessons learned back.
So the money doesn't just disappear in the LEA. The money actually goes back to the student to use to pay their costs.
Yep.
It's just not direct.
Correct.